A guy who's a welder and a guy who's a truck driver and this gentleman I just met who's a police officer, they shouldn't have to
Yeah.
pay off your student loan debt.
This is so unfair. It touches on being un-American.
It's the precedent that it sets that I can just go into debt because someone will forgive it down the line and it's not my problem anymore.
What's good? I'm Don the Con Man. Welcome to the channel. We break down the drama, react to the messiness, and call out the culture. If you vibe with that, tap that like button. Want to stay tuned? Subscribe and tap the bell. No face, no fluff, just real talk. Student loan forgiveness? Nah, you bought the ticket. Now take the ride. And don't you dare ask the rest of us to clean up your mess. Let's get into it. There's a hard truth no one wants to say out loud anymore. Most people do not deserve student loan forgiveness. We live in a country where 18-year-olds are trusted to enlist in the military, sign up for credit cards, buy cars, transition their gender, and purchase firearms. All decisions with real, life-altering consequences. Yet when it comes to student loans, suddenly we're supposed to believe these same young adults are helpless victims who couldn't possibly understand what they were doing. Give me a break. Taking out a student loan is no different than signing any other contract. You borrow money, you agree to pay it back. It's not complicated, and it's not predatory just because you regret it later. Millions of people made tough choices, working multiple jobs, attending community college, or entering trades, specifically to avoid mountains of debt. Why should their sacrifice be punished while irresponsibility gets a free pass? Let's be honest, forgiving student loans isn't compassionate. It's an insult to everyone who chose the harder, more responsible path. And it's not just about fairness, it's about the kind of country we want to live in.
The thing I'm angry about with student loan forgiveness is not people getting help. That's not it at all. It's the precedent that it sets that I can just go into debt because someone will forgive it down the line and it's not my problem anymore. And we've lost all accountability and responsibility as a society because we've decided to go, you know what, I'm going to outsource all my problems. Hey, it's not my problem. You guys made me in debt. No, you signed on the dotted line.
Personal responsibility is the foundation of freedom. You cannot demand the rights of adulthood to drive, to vote, to join the military, to transition your gender, and then pretend you're too naive to understand a loan contract. If you can sign up to risk your life for your country at 18, you can be held to a $30,000 loan for your degree in sociology. Now look, I'm not blind to reality. If you're a doctor, a dentist, a nurse, someone who dropped six figures just to save lives or serve in places nobody else wants to work, yeah, maybe you deserve some help, but it should be earned. You serve 5, 10 hard years in the trenches, rural clinics, trauma centers, the places rich doctors don't want to go, then we can talk forgiveness. But if you're pulling six figures injecting Botox in Beverly Hills, miss me with the pity party, your debt, your problem. Now, to be fair, there is an argument for some level of undergraduate loan forgiveness. It's true that college tuition has exploded in costs, driven by easy federal loans and predatory practices from some universities. It's also true that many borrowers, especially low-income and first-generation students, were heavily pressured into making choices they didn't fully understand. In cases like that, where young people were clearly misled by a rigged system, limited forgiveness for undergraduate loans could be justifiable.
It's technically called borrower defense to repayment, but it's usually shortened to borrower defense. It's for borrowers who were misled or otherwise defrauded by their schools in violation of certain state laws. So far, the Education Department has discharged $2 billion of debt through borrower defense claims among 107,000 borrowers. The easiest way to tell if you qualify is if your school has been the subject of some kind of legal action by state attorneys general, the federal government, or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
At least then you could argue that the borrowers were young, inexperienced, and victims of an educational industrial complex more interested in profit than in opportunity. But graduate loans? Absolutely not. If you took out tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for a master's or doctorate degree, you weren't a confused teenager anymore. You were a college-educated adult making a fully informed decision. If we can't hold a college graduate accountable for their financial choices, then honestly, who can we hold accountable for anything?
A guy who's a welder and a guy who's a truck driver and this gentleman I just met who's a police officer, they shouldn't have to pay off your student loan debt, which is, by the way, your student loan debt, not mine. And I'm a taxpayer, and if it is forgiven and paid by the taxpayers, that means I paid off your student loan debt. I shouldn't have to do that.
And here's where this debate gets deeply personal. For years, society has treated people without college degrees like second-class citizens. The tradesman, the truck driver, the construction worker, the small business owner, all looked down on by smug college graduates who believed a degree made them better.
Anyone can go and get a college degree. You're not special just because you went to a 4-year school. Well, where is your college degree? Mr. I only have a high school diploma. You know what I also don't have? Crippling debt.
I will never not be shocked at the amount of college graduates that think that they are the majority of the workforce. You're not. You never have been. Degree-free people have been the majority of the workforce in the US forever. Forever. Even before COVID, this started in 2014, jobs are being down-credentialed at a rapid pace. Wages for college graduates fell 7.4% this year. While those with just high school diplomas like me, our wages increased. And the thing is, we were working for the 5.5 years on average that it takes a college graduate to graduate. The ones that actually do. And every new crop that they pump through there, and every time the colleges get greedier, because college tuition literally doubles every 9 years, your degree is worth less. This new wave of work is going to hit you like a freight train. You need hard skills. No one cares about your paper. And I can see it up close. I have PhDs, MBAs, master's degree holders, and bachelor's degree holders in our 4-week career change crash course. Because they've realized they have to learn skills. And they don't even know where to start because college didn't teach them how to find skills. All it did was sell them paper. Welcome to the new world.
If you don't go to college, you won't be successful. You are throwing your life away. Do you even have a plan B? These are just some of the many responses that I got when I decided to drop out of college. And believe it or not, they were all from friends who I'm no longer friends with. And they're also from friends who I make at least triple of what they make now without a college degree. And I even had one friend who I'm no longer friends with, like I said, ask if she could be my assistant after she had graduated college with a marketing degree because she couldn't find a job in marketing that paid a livable wage. I've said it before and I'll say it again, whether it's me hiring someone or someone that is hiring someone, it doesn't matter if you graduated from Harvard, because if we're both applying to the same job and you don't have case studies that reflect your return on investment and don't even know how to market yourself the way that you should your clients, the college dropout is going to get the job over the Ivy League college education. It might sound cold, but honestly, it's opening up the opportunity to those who maybe didn't have the same resources as others did growing up. For me, I grew up in a poverty-stricken home. I was a free lunch kid, and when all of my friends were applying to state colleges because their parents were able to afford for it, I applied to the community college because that was my only option. Very quickly, I realized that I was no longer interested in furthering my traditional education rather than teaching myself and becoming a self-taught content creator and professional marketer. So if you're watching this and you're either in school, thinking about going back to school, or starting school, I'm not telling you not to go to college because in some cases, it can be super valuable and super helpful, especially if you're not entirely sure what it is that you want to do. It can also be an incredible networking opportunity. But I just really want to reaffirm that college is no longer the end-all be-all.
Okay, now, if you're going to disagree with me on this, then you are wrong. College is still the best investment, better than any trade. And here's why. I know, you make 6 figures and have no debt. That's cute. This is what you fix for a living. So next time my toilet goes out, I'll make sure to call you so you can clean up my... Here's the thing, on average, college grads earn way more money over their lifetime than trade workers do. And that's literally a fact. Sure, you make bank fixing AC units. Come back to me in 10 years when your knees are out and your back's out. I mean, just imagine telling your family that you work on your hands and knees for a living. At that point, just go make an OnlyFans, you'll make more money. So while you're fighting for your job against a robot named Steve, I'll be here coding the software your company runs on. But hey, trade jobs are great. Again, I'll call you when my sink and toilet go out so you can clean up my mess.
Yet now those same degree holders, many of whom spent years talking down to others, expect the very people they mock to help pay their bills. They want the hard-working taxpayer without a degree to bail them out for choices they themselves made. The hypocrisy is stunning. The audacity is unmatched. You can't spend a lifetime sneering at people who built their lives without college and then demand their help when your own gamble didn't pay off. Moreover, student loan forgiveness doesn't actually fix the root problem. Colleges are outrageously expensive because easy access to government loans created zero price discipline. Wiping out debt today just paves the way for even higher tuition tomorrow. It's like mopping up a flooded room without bothering to turn off the faucet. And who's paying for all this forgiveness fantasy? Taxpayers. Many of them never went to college. Many chose trades, the military, or hustled their way up without a degree. Now they're expected to subsidize people who, statistically, will still out-earn them. That's not justice. That's theft, plain and simple.
I find this just something that many people are going to find offensive because it's so unfair. Why would one cohort of graduates in this particular time be forgiven their loan when everybody else that came before them, or after them potentially, has to pay back their debt? This is so unfair. It touches on being un-American, because your responsibility as an individual when you take on debt to get a college degree is you're investing in yourself, and you know with certainty you have to pay it back. It makes you be a more responsible person when you think that way.
Back in 2020, I had $127,000 of student loan debt, and half of it was private at over 10% interest. If I had paid the minimum payments on that, it would have grown. I would have been screwed for life. But the thing is, I didn't make TikTok videos complaining about it. I didn't scream for the government to come and pay them off. I looked at it straight in the face and I said, I made a stupid, stupid decision. And the only person who's going to bail me out of this situation is me. I drove Uber, I sold firewood, I drove DoorDash, I worked in construction, I did music lessons. My wife did music lessons, taught music lessons. She cleaned houses. We literally scratched and clawed to the point that we were making $10,000 a month student loan payments, which I don't come from money. My parents never helped with any of the student loan stuff at all. We locked on to the goal and we didn't look away. And in 18 months, we paid it all off. My first job out of college, I was making $40K annually. And since then, we've become debt-free, and literally none of that would have happened if we had stayed in that place and just thrown our hands up and been like, this is never gonna work. Make it work. You can do it. Just don't surround yourself with a bunch of people who are like Chicken Little right now. The sky is falling, we're screwed. Just don't surround yourself with people who have that mindset, and just go and recreate your future. Don't let your future be dictated to you by this situation, and be honest with yourself that it's basically your fault to begin with. You're the one who took out the loans. Even if you were 17 or 18 years old and you didn't really know what you were doing, it was still you. Get over it. It's gonna be okay. You can do it. But the government's not gonna forgive these loans. Hang in there.
Yes, some borrowers are struggling. Yes, the system deserves reform, but mass forgiveness isn't the answer. It's a lazy political ploy, one that teaches the worst possible lesson to the next generation. Make a mistake big enough and someone else will clean it up for you.
Did you know that we're gonna have to pay back our student loans now? We were supposed to have them, we were supposed to have them forgiven, right? Okay, well, now we have to pay it back and they want to garnish our wages. I don't even use the degree that I went to school for, and I don't have the money to pay it back. I don't. Why do we have to pay it back? I know that I said I was going to pay it back, and I know that I signed on a line that I said I was going to pay it back, but now I have to pay it back, or they're going to take it out of my paycheck? Is this for real? Is this for real?
That's not how you build strong citizens. That's how you build a nation of entitled victims. And America already has enough of those. You made the mistake. You signed the loan. Your debt is your problem. Now deal with it. Cry about it in the comments if you want. Don the con man out.